In 1992, when I graduated from high school, I wrote a letter to the editor, to a teeny tiny, sorry Fritz, am I like, you wanna keep me in frame, right?
You're fine. Do what you want to do.
To a teeny tiny little newspaper that I worked for, because when I first was graduating from high school, I thought I wanted to go to JMC, which is Journalism Mass Communication. Great place, great field for someone who likes to talk to go into. At the newspaper, I decided to write a letter to the editor because I had applied for several scholarships and I had gotten some local ones and I was pretty excited about it. I wasn't like a great student, but I got decent grades and I was involved and I volunteered. But here's the part that is not quite so pleasant, not quite so funny, not quite so great, something that I look back on with embarrassment. I wrote a letter to the editor because I was upset that I hadn't gotten more scholarships because I felt that I was a victim of what, at the time, I called reverse discrimination. At 18 years old, my life was a life of privilege, but I didn't even know that I was living a life of privilege. So my experience to that date was, this is not fair. I'm not getting scholarships to be able to pay for my college education, but other people are. Fast forward some 30 years later, and the growth, if you can imagine the acorn, the growth that I've experienced is pretty huge in terms of my ability to accept, to understand, to connect with people, to understand that at that time I was at a place of privilege and didn't even know it, didn't even know what that meant, didn't know what that was, to now, here I am, and I consider myself an ally and an advocate for people who maybe are not in a place of privilege. Whether that be a person who has a disability, maybe that's a person here, someone who has a different sexual orientation or a different religion than I am, someone with a different background in race or culture. At this point, I certainly can't call myself an expert, but I can say I'm an ally, and I'm a proud ally. So 30 years later, I've gone from that person who had a smaller mind, and at 18, I guess we could say, we can excuse it because you were young, but in reality, can we and should we? I am probably tougher on myself than other people may be on me when I talk about this. But to me, I really feel like it's important to focus on the fact that everybody can change. Have you ever had a discussion with someone, an argument, a debate, where you talk to the person and you think, this person is never going to change their mind. They're stagnant, they're static, they're stuck. If someone had thought that about me at 18, would that have been fair? No, because I had the ability to change and I did change. So when we think about change, I think it's really, really important to realize that everybody is capable of change. And that if we do not change, our comfort zone is here. And the way that we can cause change and growth is through pushing through discomfort. So, okay, let's do this. If you will, if you're comfortable enough to push out of that comfort zone, close your eyes for a second. Think of a place of comfort for you. Whether that is a relationship, whether that is a job, whether it is a habit. Think of somewhere where you are comfortable. Then think, are you growing? In that area of comfort, are you growing or are you stuck? Are you stagnant? If you are not growing, why is that? Why are you not growing from that place? Is it because you're comfortable? Is it because you're afraid of change? Is it because change is scary? Okay, then I ask you to open your eyes and think about what would it be that you would need to do to change that, to grow from that position. Whether that place is your job, where you're comfortable, but you're not happy. Whether it's maybe in a particular situation. You're comfortable, but you're not happy. What is it that you need to do to be able to change that? And those are the questions that I ask myself on a daily basis, because I feel like every single person I come in contact with helps me change, helps me grow every moment. And as an educator, my kids will say to me, oh my gosh, that's so cool, when they have an aha moment. I literally have an aha moment every single day of my life, because I love to learn. I love to change and I love to grow. And growth is about change. If we don't change, we don't grow. And we've all seen the acorn that didn't sprout, that got stuck, was comfortable and stayed in its shell, never to come out, never to become a mighty oak. So change is critical for us to be able to grow and to be able to push past where we are today to where we'll be tomorrow.